Oh, that's LA Beast. Oh,
Oh my
LA
God,
Beast eats lots of stuff.
you know that
I don't know who that is.
you know the LA Beast.
Dude,
No.
he's the man that brought back Crystal Pepsi. Of course I know who he is. He's a saint.
Wait, what?
Yeah, he's the best.
Wait,
LA Beast,
d
best thing ever happened to YouTube.
does he just eat a ton of stuff? Well then. So, you just called him the best thing that happened to YouTube, right? Cleric?
Are you gonna talk about the worst thing that happened to YouTube now?
Yes, I am about to talk about the worst thing that happened to YouTube.
Oh, ooh.
So,
It's getting steamy now,
so for
boys.
so for those of you watching this at home, you probably already know who this is about based on the thumbnail and the title. But I'm going to talk about DarkSydePhil today because he is quite a piece of work. So, just to be clear, you guys don't really know anything about him besides what I've said, right?
I've got no idea, dude.
One other preference him once.
All right. So, feel free to like chime in and give your thoughts on anything I say like throughout this because I don't want this just to be me ranting about some topic no one cares about for an hour. But
Okay,
all
can do.
right. So, the story. So DarkSydePhil, Phil Burnell. I don't feel bad about saying his name here because he's doxed himself more times than I thought was humanly possible. Um, there's basically back in 2005, he went to a little tournament called Evo and competed in a Street Fighter 2 tournament. There's kind of something different about this one though, because so Evo for the before 2005 was using arcade cabinets to play their games because at the time like console fighting games weren't at the same level.
Mm-hmm.
2005 was a year that they tried to switch over, except they used a really bad PS1 port of Street Fighter 2 that had a lot of minor changes from the arcade version, which made it difficult for some players unless you knew all the minor changes. Phil was quite possibly the only person to at the time who entered the tournament to know all the minor changes. Plus, a lot of big name competitors didn't go into the tournament to protest the change. Well, because of this, he ended up taking fourth at Evo 2005, and he has never let that go. That alone isn't too bad, but then let's just keep this in mind for later. Let's fast forward to 2008 when he started doing YouTube videos. So he would do videos with by holding a camera or not holding, but like having a camera set up on a table in front of his TV,
Mm-hmm.
and then yeah, and then he'd record it like that, and yeah, then he started when YouTube let you start monetizing, he started doing that, and then he got banned from it for telling his viewers to click on advertisements because you're not allowed to do that. And then he moved to a site called Blip TV. Keep in mind, I'm
Blip?
going through this very fast because I don't have like the in-depth like I don't have like a thesis paper in front of me on this. I'm just going off memory. But he moved to Blip TV, where he also got. Or hold on, just a sec. No, sorry about that. Sorry,
You're all
but
good.
he so he moved to Blip.tv, where he also got banned, this time for anti-Semitic jokes. But you know, same thing, really, right? I mean, so then he moved back to YouTube, but used his girlfriend's AdSense, which in itself isn't allowed, but he just did it anyway. So, oh no, sorry. He used his girlfriend's name to sign up for an AdSense to be partnered with Machinima. Anyway,
Now,
going to kind of describe the kind of person that Phil is. So you know those people, like you both play Overwatch, right?
Yep.
yeah.
You know those people who, when you're losing, will blame everyone else on the team but them?
Oh, yeah. He's one of those.
Now, imagine that, but in single player games as well.
What do you? What do you?
Like,
What do you? Yeah.
like
Who-
he,
I know people like that in real life too.
like a perfect example of this is Metal Gear Solid 2. One of the first things I remember seeing from him was he tried to like hide behind a table or something, and from a guard, and a guard came in and saw him because his foot was poking out. But he started ranting and yelling about how the game is broken and how poorly it's made, and started swearing out the creator of it, Hideo Kojima. I think I pronounced that right.
Not exactly,
yeah.
but I don't know. I know that's not the correct pronunciation, but I can't do it correctly myself. But you were very close, I'm pretty sure. So,
All right, but yeah, he's one of those kinds of people. So my
interesting.
favorite thing is
The argument that the video game was actually supposed to work the way he thought it was supposed to work, and so the game actually cheated.
yeah, basically. He thinks that the game is either broken or it doesn't follow its own rules when it doesn't work the way he thinks it's supposed to work. Like
That's what I was thinking of.
like in Dead Rising 2, well, he didn't play, or not Dead Rising 2, in the demo for Dead Rising 2, he was given a quest to find this one group of people's friends, or friend. And when he found her, she'd been bitten and needed the medicine before she would go back with them. Well, because the people had worded it saying just find her, and then they didn't say bring her back. He just found her, didn't give her the medicine because he's like screw you, and then walked back and started ranting about how the game is broken because they didn't give him a reward for finding her, even though he never brought her back.
Okay then.
Yeah, he's an interesting individual. Anyway, so long story short, back to like his little like a brief history of him. He gets cut from Machinima because he's complaining on camera and telling some stuff that by contract he probably shouldn't be. Machinima cuts him. He gets picked up by another kind of, what's it called, like those companies that are there solely to make for people to like get advertisements on YouTube. I don't know what they're called, but I think it's MCN or something. Anyway, he gets picked up by another one that actually is kind of fake because they don't have the actual power to give Phil everything he wants. So now he's under curse. But anyway, so I'm just going to get into some of the few aspects of Phil. He's literally in this just for the money. Like you can kind of tell he doesn't actually enjoy what he does. But but he does it because it's easy money and he doesn't have to leave his house. Like he refuses to get. One video clip I saw that I clearly remember was he was complaining about not getting enough money to his stream once, and he asked them what he's supposed to do, and a lot of this clip I saw showed the stream chat, and a lot of them were saying like, oh, get a real job, try going back to like a community college in the area to get like a degree so you can get a job. Or like another degree, so you can get a job, and so. Maybe one person said full-time streamer. He's like, wow, I see a lot of you are saying full-time streamer. I guess that's what I'm going to do. And it's like, dude, why?
Same.
Like, I'm not really explaining this well, I think. I think that his thing is more of like a seeing. You have to kind of like see it to like fully understand what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So like after this, I'll link a few
I'm just
videos to like.
I'm a little desensitized to this kind of thing. I've gotten past the point of just people whining on camera to the point where I forget the name of this person, but I saw like a video of some like rabid Sonic fan get maced to GameStop for raging about Sonic games.
Oh, you mean Oh, you mean Christian?
So that's it.
Dude, I love.
That was a good video.
Oh my. Wait, was it the one where he was yelling about how they changed the color of Sonic's arms?
So
What? What?
Oh, there. Wait, Troy. Do you know who Chris Chan is?
some guy
Nope.
named Chris Chan. I don't know an awful lot about him. I just remember seeing a few videos about him. But anyway, yeah. So some guy named Chris Chan. He's a big Sonic fan. Long history of doing stupid stuff. He went to a GameStop and started raging about how they changed the color of Sonic's arms, and he got maced.
He got maced.
Oh yes, yes he did.
Why you mad? It is only game.
No, it's its only game.
That's all I can
But
think of. Good lord.
but let's just kind of like dive into DSP as a person. So some of the best examples I have come from his air quotes relationship or his former relationship, I should say. But so I don't know where in the DSP timeline this started, but he started dating a girl named Leanna, who was like literally just turned 18 when when they would start dating, and he was like 25, I want to say.
Hmm.
So it's already kind of what are you doing? But then anytime she would be on in a video or on stream with him, she would just either act violently towards whoever else was with them or just insult Phil constantly. Like this one episode or this one clip. So hold on, I need to back up a bit. So Phil was really horrible to his own fan base. He treats them as ways just to get money.
Mm-hmm.
And because of this, when he banned one person from commenting on his videos, I think you can do that. I'm not sure. I forget what the exact cause was, but I think that was it.
Block people.
That person, what?
You can block people.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I think that's it. The guy that got blocked got mad and kind of fed up with Phil, and made a video called "This Is How You Don't Play" of Metal Gear Solid 2 or 3, where basically he just took all of Phil's worst moments and clipped them together,
Mm-hmm.
and put comments kind of calling him out for his stuff. And this has caused a kind of its own subgenre of video called "This Is How You Don't Plays." Like I've seen them mainly for Phil, but I've seen them for like, wait, what?
I've seen something like this. I've seen some person that makes like a series of videos, like saying like Polygon has no idea how to play, and then the title of the game, and basically they just take clips of game journalists from like Polygon and other review and other like companies like that, and it just like shows it like 5 minutes of the gameplay, and these people are the most inept gamers out there. It's like they've never picked up a controller before in their life because. For example, the one I remember the most is Doom. This guy whose job it is to review video games cannot look or cannot move the left and right analog stick at the same time.
To be fair, though, I'm kind of defending the guy a bit.
He can't move and look at the same time.
I know, but like
He probably also hits like one out of every like 20 shots. To be honest.
Oh, all right. I'm just saying that if maybe he was like a PC guy that went to like play on a controller, because I know that for me
he's just a trash player. Like a ton of those game journalists are just trash players. They can't play video games for anything, to save their life really.
Well, like
there's a long string of videos of just tons of videos out there of these people that video games, but they can't play video games. Another example is that I saw someone who was playing what was the game called? It's called something like hot dogs, handguns, and grenades or something like that. I don't remember. It's something weird like that. And basically, it's just a VR shooting range. And the guy spent 15 minutes instead of actually reviewing the game, how guns scared him, and how he didn't like it, and how it was triggering him, and how he was giving like flashbacks to like he saw a gun as a child and it triggered him.
Okay, well, I feel like it's more on like the company that is making him review that games. Like, cause I know cause like obviously someone who like has that much of a problem with guns shouldn't be reviewing a game about guns.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Yeah, but where were we? We're talking about. Oh yeah, this is so. There's like this is how you don't play is for like he said Cleric said, um, game journalists, the Game Grumps have a couple on them for like Wind Waker, um, Low Tier God who deserves his own episode at some point. Um, but yeah, if it wasn't for Phil, these kind of videos wouldn't have like a solidified name in their own like big subgenre. Well, it kind of got to a point where these videos, whenever you'd search up for Phil's channel, these videos would come up instead of his. So, yeah, if you're trying to find him, you just get all of his like air quotes worst moments. Because I'm not gonna lie, seeing him get really mad at something that was obviously his fault, and then seeing like the comments calling him out for it are actually kind of funny. Like he did a air quotes redemption run of Dark Souls 2 where he tried beating it, or Dark Souls 1, sorry, without any help or anything, where someone just like compiled every single time he looked at his stream chat for help. It was like I think it was over like 200 times, I'm not sure. I'm probably doing like a really bad job of explaining why this guy is so like
Stuff. Like I said, I don't want to seem like I'm not into this. It's just like I said, based on all the drama I've seen on YouTube, this is just something I'm desensitized to. I'm like, oh yeah, another one of these guys. When
All right.
I like follow, they take it to a whole another level than what Phil is into, is what it sounds like, because they take it to like
Yeah.
personally getting involved with other people, taking the drama off of YouTube, just going way above and beyond of just
Yeah. Well, see, we're actually going to get into that a little later with part of his hate base called the I think I might have talked about them in chat actually, but we'll get to them in a little bit. So anyway, Phil's whole this is how you don't play Zara thing. I was watching one of him playing that old Godfather game for the 360 and the PS2 called with his girlfriend or ex-girlfriend, whatever you want to call her. And
Right.
literally the entire time it was just her bashing him for being bad at the game and just making fun of him and just being like not fun. Like already his streams are bad, but like watching someone get beat up, like verbally beat up by someone that they live with, and like it's just a special kind of cringe, you know?
yeah, I've seen enough of that.
Yeah.
Basically, what I'm getting from this is a person who obviously shouldn't be streaming or doing stuff like this, but they do it because it's supposedly easy money and few consequences compared to what it would be in a regular workplace. But some of this stuff may or may, like, I assume that most of it is not staged, but some stuff they might continue to do it even though if they may know it's wrong or people displeased of it, because it's like that negative attention that can like get people views and stuff for like dumb drama. So he's just kind of like trying to ride what he can, but it still like sucks for him, but he's just too lazy or like just doesn't want to like, I don't know, do something better or different because he's just kind of gotten so used to and stuck into this community. Whether he really wants to be in it or not, he doesn't really know how to adjust outside of it now, I guess, maybe.
Pretty much, yeah. Also, I'd like to commend you because that was an amazing psychoanalysis.
That's what I do.
Like that was actually like I was not expecting. Like you remember that you watch Rick and Morty, right?
Pickle Rick.
Listen, my
Yeah,
IQ is
dude, I'm so smart.
So
I'm a college student that makes all A's just because I watch Rick and Morty before every test.
Because I was going to say that you just reminded me of
I I tried watching it once.
Um,
Just like I said, my IQ just isn't high enough to understand that. So, he said Pickle Rick, and
oh,
I just couldn't handle it anymore. It felt like it was insulting my intelligence because like I couldn't. It's like they're mocking me for being so stupid. You know what I mean?
It's not for everybody, little fella. It's not for everybody.
I saw like all the
because like
like math equation stuff going through my head, and it was just sounded like a bunch of gibberish to me, and I started bleeding out my ears a little bit, my eyes. I said, nay, this show isn't for me. So
I'm sorry. Like the reason I bring it up though is because when you just sat there giving this full like rundown on Phil, it just reminded me of that actually the Pickle Rick episode at the end with that psychiatrist who just sat there giving this full rundown on Rick, and I'm like, oh, except unlike Phil, Rick is supposed to be unlikable, and then Phil is just kind of is.
Rip.
Like, like like I said, we'll get to his fan base later, but anyway, so he like at one point I think he actually like when you're saying the staging thing, I think pretty much everything he does is pretty like legitimately just like that.
Mm-hmm.
But there's one moment that is so bad, I am convinced that it had to have been staged. So he would play the Lego games with his ex-girlfriend on a stream, like just because it's a good little co-op game for people.
Mm-hmm.
They were playing the new Lego Star Wars game, the one that's based off The Force Awakens.
oh, the worst one.
And I haven't played it, so I don't know if it is. It looks kind of fun, but
The problem is that they bastardized what made the original Lego Star Wars game so good. They cut levels out as DLC. They cut characters out as DLC. They piecemealed the game. First of all, it's a game based off of one episode when every other game is based off 3 episodes. On top of that, they added DLC characters and missions and stuff, which was all like all that stuff like secret unlockables that you get in the game originally. So it's just the fact they piecemealed out everything that made the game special is what makes it the worst game in the entire franchise.
wait, there's DLC in Lego games now?
Force Awakens there is.
Oh, fun. Well,
He
was playing.
Listen,
Sorry, you go.
Star Wars games has always been like a guilty pleasure of mine since in the Batman games because I used to play this a lot when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So just seeing that's the direction the Lego games are going, it just pisses me off.
Well, hopefully it's just like a one-off thing, and maybe like Lego Batman 4 will actually be like a good game because 3 was amazing. Well, all right. So he and his girlfriend were playing The Force Awakens, and she gets stuck in something. Like she gets like stuck like clipping on something, and it's like Phil. The AI character Phil gets stuck on something on the same thing, but I don't think it was an accident because I saw Phil like switch to the other character that was just AI controlled and was right there. And he could have easily walked out the door to reset the level. He didn't. He just kind of like switched. He immediately switched right back to the one that's stuck in the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And started complaining about how broken the games are and how he was never going to play another game on stream or another Lego game on stream. And I'm pretty sure that's also the last stream he did with his girlfriend. So I'm thinking that maybe, just maybe, he did it on purpose just so he wouldn't have her on stream being horrible to him.
You're saying he's too much of a pussy to say no to someone.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Right.
But she's really kind of not that important to the story. But I'm just covering this I'm just covering this next part because it actually is kind of important to who Phil is as a person. So he was streaming one day and gets a call and he has to leave.
Strong word, okay?
Wait, what?
Person's kind of a strong word, okay?
Are you saying he's not a person?
Joke and making fun of him.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, I'm stupid. I'm sorry. But he gets a call and he's just like, I have to leave. Comes back a few hours later and starts streaming again. And then he starts talking in detail about how his girlfriend had to go to the hospital for a panic attack and he started complaining about how he couldn't find the car, how he couldn't find parking, how the nurse wouldn't bring him food.
What do you mean?
I'm not kidding.
Uh,
And then he, keep in mind, this is all on stream, and he's saying this to an audience who he probably shouldn't be saying this to, because this is all kind of personal. He then, like, so this next part's going to be a little controversial, and I'll kind of explain my opinion on it. He then says that if this happens again, she's just going to not have to go to the hospital. Well, and the reason I say it's kind of controversial is because I can kind of see both sides of it. Like, on the one hand, it's horrible to say that, no, you have this condition, you're just going to have to deal with it. But on the other hand, in America, like, healthcare stuff is not cheap.
It means our healthcare system is absolutely atrocious, because it is.
Yeah. But, like, I could see, like, if he had said maybe, like, oh, we'll have to get her some anxiety medicine so she can... sorry. Get her some anxiety medicine so we can, like, she doesn't have to go to, like, the hospital. But instead he said, no, she just can't. She just has to deal with it. Like, that's the part where I'm like, no. Like, I don't know. And then, funnily enough, immediately after this, they broke up. So...
Well, you see, here's the thing I was finding confusing is that I've seen a lot of people that have this kind of personality, and I always wonder, how the hell do they find someone that ever wants to date them in the first place? But I figure out who they are.
Well, like, once they might not act like that or show all their true self when they're still, kind of getting to know this person or starting to date them. I mean, you see the same type of thing in a lot of, like, cases. Like, I know I'm getting a bit deep in this. But you see the same type of thing in a lot of, like, abuse cases where it's fine, everything's good, and then just one day, like, they snap or something else. It's just like that true intention just kind of comes out, whether they realize it or not.
The thing is that usually within, like, the first, like, month, you can usually start seeing the kind of person someone is.
But that's not really. Like, it kind of depends, because some people, like... I've been best friends with this guy, Trevor. He's in a lot of the videos I do, but I've been best friends with him since, like, 8th grade, and, like, I'm still learning new stuff about him. Like, I didn't, like, fully know him until, like, sophomore year of high school. So it's like,
I meant, like, you can kind of tell if someone kind of cares about you or not within that time period, because usually, like, personal experience that usually I have to, I have trouble wording this.
that's all good. I think with, like, kind of going off what Troy said, though, with, like, abuse, like...
Yeah, abuse is an entirely different thing, I think.
Yeah.
Than just a bad relationship. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't want to be too controversial here.
I love how...
I'm trying to talk about petty stuff and not, like, abuse here. I don't...
Yeah.
I'm digging myself into a hole here.
It's all good. I just love how this podcast went from talking about some horrible YouTuber to abusive relationships. Oh boy. Anyway, yeah, they broke up. Phil basically said afterwards that, hey, this is good for you guys. Now you get to have me all the time instead of only some of the times when my girlfriend wants to do something. So it's like, dude, you're literally sitting here acting like... It's like, I don't know. Like, I know he's just trying to spin it positively, but at the same time, it's like, dude, you just went through a breakup. You shouldn't just throw yourself into your air quotes work, because it's like, it's not going to fix, like, the emotional problems you're having with it.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be in his work originally because of his emotional issues.
Yeah. Speaking of those, he gets very, very mad when he plays, like I said earlier, like, he will blame the game and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, fighting games are, like, the best thing to watch of his for This Is How You Don't Plays, because he gets so mad. Like, I remember watching...
Here's something I just don't understand with this, because when I play video games, I can have anger issues too. this is part of my personality. I get angry really easily at other people because I find it embarrassing to get really angry around other people. You know.
Yeah. He just doesn't care. He's the thing. Some of the things that get him the most views are fighting games and Dark Souls games, and he's like replaying all. I think he's replaying all the Dark Souls games just because it's going to get him more views. So it's like, I don't know. Like again, he's doing this. I'm pretty sure he's doing this purely for the money.
I mean, also one thing you got to think of, like, think about how many times people look up like rage compilations, especially games like Dark Souls and stuff. Like, people think it's so funny when like something stupid or something happens in a game, and they get like so mad. And it's like, you can still see so much. It's still like the YouTube thing. Like, you can't entirely tell whether it's a front or if it's real or not. So like, he could be a completely different person outside of it, or that could actually be him. We'll never fully know. But what he's doing is obviously getting attention and views.
That actually has that gets angry easily at video games, or just in general, I should say, just someone that gets angry easily, angry in front of people. It's just embarrassing. Because I'm like, I know deep down, I know this isn't important, but it just makes me angry a lot of times whenever I get upset about something.
Oh, yeah, I get that.
Either just don't show it around people, or I just do it when I'm alone because it's cathartic to yell at things.
Oh yeah, I get that. Also, I would just like to say that just remember, no matter how low you think your life is, you'll never have a video on your channel of you trying out a shower brush. Just remember that.
Oh, a shower brush. What?
Listen. I've seen worse.
No, okay. So, Cleric, I don't doubt it. I've definitely seen worse on YouTube as well. But this is a special kind of this. This actually was kind of a segue into the next little bit. So he has this series of vlogs called DSP Tries It, where he will either get some fast food or some soda or some whatever and vlog him trying it. Except he holds the camera super close to his mouth, so when it's food-based, you can just hear him chewing. And it's bad.
Like, maybe it's for that small portion of the ASMR audience, you know what I'm saying?
DSP ASMR. Oh, no. Oh, no. But, he had one video of him trying out some kind of shower brush, and it's just like a camera on like a counter staring at like a shower curtain and him occasionally poking the brush out to show that he has it. And it's like, what are you doing?
Art.
He actually tried claiming that. He tried claiming that his I'm not kidding. He tried claiming that his Let's Plays were works of art and that anyone who made This Is How You Don't Plays were infringing on his copyrights on his Let's Plays.
Let's talk about the shower brush video.
No, I know, but like you reminded me of something else that he's done. So,
oh man,
yeah. So I'm going to get into like. There's only one time I think I've actually ever agreed with a DSP on something, and that is So I talked earlier about him having this like hate-dom around him, which for all the kind of like stuff he does.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there was this one podcast group called the Sons of Kojima that
sounds like a cult.
Basically, their whole thing. It was. It literally was. Like what they did was they would take This Is How You Don't Plays and basically do live reaction videos to them, and then they'd also just kind of whenever Phil would have like the hospital girlfriend thing, they'd have stuff like that too, and like when he got cut from Twitch, and like these were like 3 to 7 hour long like videos that they would do.
These people sound kind of like cancer, to be honest.
Yeah, but so that was all surface level stuff. Behind the surface, they had so a group like this, because like Cleric said earlier, it sounds like a cult because it kind of was. There was this guy named Fred. He he was the leader, I guess. What he did was apparently, according to some of the people who left early and were doing podcasts about it, he never was not on Skype or Discord. Like, he was just kind of there, like, all the time. And he would apparently record every, like, calls, like, the entire day. So, like, he'd have a ton of dirt on people. And, like, there was one member of their group, or two members of their group. One was friends, I think, with the other one, and the other one had cancer, and then she died. And then everyone except for, well, not everyone, but like a good member of the air quotes higher ups were just kind of making fun of her, calling her a slut, that kind of thing. And then the other friend left because of that, and recently started speaking out about this because of what I'm going to talk about in a second. But yeah, they were just kind of pretty bad people. Apparently, they were the leader and people that he got a Fred and the people he was trying to get them to do things. Apparently, he started doxing the members of their own group and getting dirt on them to keep them loyal, air quotes. And so, yeah, it was just a lot of bad. Then we come to what kind of caused them
doxing them or something.
No, like they were doxing them, like getting like information about that they shouldn't have, like finding their names, their address, like all that stuff. Like he was full on, like
that reminds me of something else. So, can I get off topic a little bit here? It just reminds me of a stupid news story
sure,
that I just want to bring up again because I'll never let this live, or never let this go.
Is it the CNN doxing thing? Is it the CNN doxing thing?
Thing. What the fuck was a professional news company doxing a teenager for a meme?
It's because
I remember that. That was pretty interesting.
What kind of world do we live in where CNN is doxing fucking kids for posting memes?
Okay, so I'm just gonna say right now, I don't like getting political on the channel or on here. I'm just gonna say all the major news companies are kind of stupid. Like
they're all
Fox
actually at this point.
I remember I think it was during when the whole Manafort thing was announced. I'm pretty sure that instead of covering it, Fox was talking about like cheeseburgers or something, or at least that's what I've heard. I'm not sure. CNN just kind of like CNN does stupid things too for their side. Fox does stupid things for their side. It's just all the news companies
are just trash. Like the most recent example I remember is that like a few days ago or something, I saw that like NBC just made a new article, like a video article or whatever, blaming gamers for the alt-right in the Charlottesville riot.
Well,
people, I mean,
okay,
there's a lot of stuff we won't agree with, but it's like it's hard to get out of the system that we're in because one, these news channels are obviously going to be broadcasting information, whether no matter how exactly true or false it is, it still is associated with their audience. It's stuff for their target audience to get the views that they need, right? So with that, there's also other things that other people are going to find controversial, and they're going to talk about it. When it comes to like games and like stuff like news and stuff like that, there's no such thing as really like bad publicity. It's only publicity because it gets them attention.
They weren't advertising games. They were blaming people that play video games.
No, I'm not saying that they were advertising games. I'm just giving an example that while this is very stupid to us and we understand that, there's still we're still giving them attention. That's what they want. If they get attention, then they get views, they get we're not like we may see some other news source or something talking about it, hear it from other people down the line, but it's still more people talking about it. Then there's going to be at least one person somewhere down the line that's going to go look at this, and that's going to give them revenue from, say, ads or something of that sort. They can't really lose unless they do something absolutely horrible.
I know that. I'm just saying that I'm just giving examples of why they're just unreliable news sources that just give you pseudo propaganda. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well,
they focus more on pushing a narrative nowadays than actual news.
It's been like that for a long time.
It's been like that for like literally since like World War I think.
It's just particularly bad right now, though.
Well, it seems like that, but I think it's more just that people they're actually getting called out more on it now.
Yeah, I think. Well, I mean, you
They're
know,
they're happy. They feel more confident in just telling more blatant lies nowadays. I think.
Well, I feel like it's because with like how big the internet has become, it's just easier to point out that they're lying better.
True.
yeah, I agree. But I mean, like, they have so much money, and they're at a certain point where like they can do some of these things. It's not going to like screw them over because they already have this basis in this stance. They don't know absolutely
Yeah.
perfectly safe. Like, you know what I mean?
No, yeah, I get what you mean entirely. Kind of going back to what Cleric said though about the whole like gamers and the alt right thing. To be fair, like as someone who plays video games a lot of people online who play video games are kind of very racist. Like,
No,
well, okay, based
that's
on
wrong.
what I've seen,
No, I know. Like,
have you?
hold on.
No,
I don't think
did
I
you
don't
see
think the
well,
games make the people racist. I just think there's a lot of people who are racist that
play games?
speak
Yeah,
out during the games because if it's game chat or something like that, they can freely say a lot of things
There's
without like
hold on,
prosecuted.
hold on, something, hold on, something I need to say just because. Hold on,
or
Cleric, just
when they're playing a
just
video
wait a
game does
sec.
not mean they're racist. It just means that they're anonymous and think they think they can say whatever they want.
No, because like, okay, did you see all the backlash for Assassin's Creed Origins when people were saying that they're trying to quote unquote blackwash history just because the main character was black in Egypt, which is factually correct. People, and then all the people who complained about the new Uncharted Lost Legacy having female protagonists because quote unquote it should have been a guy, and that was literally their entire argument. Like there are a lot of like people who play. There's a very vocal minority who play video games
That's they're a vocal minority though.
that are like that, and that's what they were basing it off of. Because I actually watched like the whole thing.
No, so there's a vocal minority, but the claims are that that's what the majority is.
I'm sorry. Like we're getting kind of like off topic. Like I'm just going like I'm trying to think of a way to word this. I'm sorry. I'm bad under like pressure, but like they're based on saying the majority is wrong, but there's a very good chance that like a good majority of those alt right people who are in Charlottesville did play like
Of course, they played video games.
I'm pretty sure like a
Everyone
lot
plays
of them
video
were the
games.
same
There's
people that were
millions of
complaining
people
about
that
like
play video
ACO and stuff.
games. Think about it. There's like however millions of Americans out there, and there's like someone from every group that you hate plays a video game at some point. You know what I mean?
I don't. Yeah, that's true. It's
Listen,
just like
think about it. There's millions of gamers worldwide. There's tens of millions of gamers worldwide, and how unlikely do you think it'd be if there'd be like no murderers that play video games, or no racists that play video games, or no anything that plays
that's not
video
what
games?
I'm.
Of course, there's gonna be shitty people that play
That's
video
not
games.
what I'm arguing though.
I'm just saying that because these
That's not what I'm
racist
arguing.
and awful
I'm
people,
arguing
they're a
that
minority in normal society. And with such a large number of people playing video games, to say that they represent anything more than a small minority of gamers, because it's saying that like those people there's more of those people in like normal society than what there is even.
well, like that's not what I'm arguing though. What I'm arguing though is that the article was saying that that a lot of the people who were at Charlottesville met through met through games and stuff.
No, they met through Discord, and they use Discord because it's anonymous. That's the big thing. They said because the whole point, the whole crutch of the article was they said that after I finish this, we can just get off this topic before it gets too political. But essentially, what they said is they said these alt-right people, they used Discord to organize this thing, and Discord is a occasions for gamers. And well, the person that drove that car into that crowd, he played video games.
So what you're saying is that GTA does cause murders in real life. Case closed. All right, let's move on.
That's basically the whole thing was saying.
That's not the way I interpreted it, but I know everyone has their own kind of opinion thing. So I think I agree with you in that we should just kind of like drop this here. Unless you want to keep going on this, or
Not gonna go anywhere good.
Yeah, probably. All right, so we were talking about doxing with Sons of Kojima, those guys. So one of their former members, I think it was a former member, I don't know, tried making a Twitch emote with Phil's face on it, I think, and they got really mad and started harassing him because apparently you're not supposed to monetize Phil's content, when they would do charity live streams of them watching Phil content and monetize them so they get money, and their friends who weren't part of the group but they were friends with would monetize Phil content, and they were completely okay with that. But the moment someone they didn't like did, they weren't. So these other people just kind of brought out all the dirt on them and kind of showed how bad they were. And yeah, it was just like this whole like big thing where like, well, air quotes big because not a lot of people really like. It was big in the DSP like recording and like seeing like just what DSP like does. Like it was big in that kind of community. And he from the start, DSP called them psychopaths and stuff, or like, not psycho, sociopaths and stuff. And this is the one time I actually agree with him on something, because setting up a cult around making fun of one person is a little much. Like, yeah. I just had headphones thrown at me. Anyway. Yeah, anyway. So, yeah, so that's kind of like the whole thing on Phil. You guys have any, like, that I can think of? Do you guys have any, like, questions or, like...
Not really.
Alright.
I mean, the only other person I can really compare this to is just watch a different podcast called the Drunken Peasants Podcast. I mentioned that they have this one guy, it's just kind of a recurring thing that he has a small failing channel that doesn't really do much, so he just keeps trying to start drama with them. And he pretty much... He reminds me a lot of Phil sometimes, but he just... So much as just because he keeps... start stuff again, so...
Alright. Kind of... Just because we're kind of, like... This is kind of a shorter episode. Do you guys want to, like, go back to the whole Christian thing we, like, mentioned earlier?
I guess I don't really know a lot about
what
him.
are you talking about?
The guy that went to GameStop and got maced for throwing stuff and yelling about Sonic's arms getting their color changed.
Oh yeah, that was okay. Now, I need to know like the full like thing. Now, why exactly like did he get maced? Like, did he actually do something that was like? Was he just having like like lash out in violence?
I think
like he was like yelling in people's faces.
He knocked over a display stand also.
Yeah, it was understandable. He was just getting in people's faces and stuff. And you gotta expect that when you're yelling and you get up in someone's personal space and you start like throwing stuff around, you're gonna get maced or something.
Yeah. Also, when you're the creator of Sonic 2, it's just kind of bound to happen. Oh, Troy, it's really Troy. You haven't heard about that, have you?
No, explain it to me.
So, Chris Chan is an air quotes artist. He writes and draws a comic called The Adventures of Sonic Chew.
Oh God, that's where that came from.
Yeah, this is where it came from.
Sonic Jew.
No, Sonic Chew.
Pikachu. Sonic Pikachu. Sonic Pikachu.
Oh, so it's okay. Oh. So it's not okay. So all right, got it.
But literally, what it is it's just Sonic, but with Pikachu colors, and it's basically like a self-insert for Chris himself. And they basically he tried I can't say the word patenting. I don't think I said that right.
Patented.
He tried getting it patented, and he tried like someone sent him a fake DMCA from Sega about it, I think. Either he's yeah. Long story short, a lot of people. He first kind of was found on the internet when he made a video back in like 2006. Kind of on YouTube. Talking about how you shouldn't be gay. Like, it just kind of like he was like one of those people, and then it was later found out that he used to hang around his college campus holding up a big sign that was saying looking for hold on, I need to know exactly what this says because the actual list is gold sign. Hold on, it's oh, here we go. It said wanted boyfriend for a girl between 18 and 20s, no drinkers, no smokers, and no blacks. That was the sign.
Interesting.
Yeah, and he would hold this around his like college campus. He actually got kicked off. I think he got suspended from his college for a year because of it. But I know that apparently, according to like people who lived in the same town, he would just go to like the mall and do the same thing. But yeah. He was an interesting guy. Yeah, I don't really, I don't want to go fully into like Christian because a lot of it isn't really okay. Well, a lot of it is his fault, but a lot of it is people just trolling him and purposely like being mean to him. So while he does,
I mean, if you're gonna react to trolls just to and feed more trolls, I mean, you gotta. I don't have a lot of sympathy for people that just keep feeding into trolls. I mean, if you realize that like if someone's trolling, you gotta realize that someone's trolling you at some point.
He's autistic though, so it's like
that changes a lot. Then I take back what I said. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so like some point like some things are just like the sign thing. That's like it doesn't matter how
hate me at this point. I just keep saying things that are just turn out to be really stupid this episode.
Well, like in that sense, you didn't know, like so it's fine. Like if you had known, that would have been different. But no, it's just like I know
I
he's
think
like
correct what I was trying to say before
like,
with the whole before we got to abuse things. I wasn't trying to talk about like a serious abuse things. I was just trying to talk about like how do people that are just like disrespectful and self-centered, how do they ever get people that seem that are like attracted to them? I was always wondering. That's what I was trying to say before.
oh, actually, I can answer that actually. So with when you said it was like the self-centered thing, sometimes people who are really self-centered can make themselves look like they like care about you, and oh well, I almost knocked my mic off my desk. Hold on. Like they can really they basically manipulate you into thinking that you really care about them. They really care about you, I mean. And they use that to like it's just all manipulation.
That's what I was trying to say earlier. It's like they'll show that like they'll act differently than what they actually are. Then all of a sudden, or like once they get to a certain point of what they want, they change and they let out like their true full intentions.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like I said, I'm just gonna I'm retarded this episode or stupid. Sorry, I know you don't that word. My bad,
dude. It's fine. Hey, as someone who's like mentally handicapped, I'm totally fine with you just saying that. But I know some people in the comments probably won't be.
And it's just I'm being stupid this episode. Just disregard everything I say. I guess I don't know.
Does that mean I win our argument from earlier? That was a joke, by the way. I'm not serious about that. Anyway, but yeah, no, Christian is a very interesting case in that every time like he tries to like do something, there'll be a lot of like people who there'll be there's like a ton of people who go way too far with him. Like they will, and people will call those people out on it. But they just go there's a lot of people who just go way too far. And a lot of the stuff with Chris is from people that just went way too far. One one of the things that wasn't really too far, it was just kind of like this was just kind of like light trolling. Was he had a character named Rosachu, which is basically just Amy Rose but mixed with a Pikachu.
Huh.
And
He really likes Pikachu, doesn't he?
so he would yeah, I don't, it's weird. But some people were drawing going back to his whole little gay rant from his very first thing. Some people drew gay fan art of Sonic 2 and some other character to like mess with him. So he started drawing not safe for work art of Rosachu to show that his characters are straight. Yeah, I don't.
It's just funny. I've seen stuff like that happen before. And it gets me every time.
I feel bad for laughing at stuff like this because, again, he's not all there mentally, but at the same time, it's like
It really depends on a case by case basis about whether you should laugh at stuff like this.
yeah, like the Sonic thing. Like, I still think that's funny. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, like I'll bring it up
Some of
before.
the
One of my favorite things to do on YouTube is I like a channel called Mr. Medicare, and like I said, he just like I think the best way to describe it is he just curates the really just creepy side of the internet.
Actually,
And like one of my favorite series he does is just called Deviants, is where he just goes around the different fit communities on DeviantArt and just points out about how screwed up they are.
speaking of, actually, that reminded me. They actually, the Sons of Kojima people I was telling you about earlier actually had Mr. Medicare on a podcast once, and
Speaking of Mr. Medicare, a funny thing to tie this all back to the beginning of the podcast. He just finished up like a big series he was doing recently, and he was just at the end he was just doing scrolling through all his Patreons, and someone that was using the name and picture of DarkSydePhil as their Patreon. So either it was Phil, which I doubt, or it was just someone trolling him.
Good. So we still have some time left. Do you guys want to talk about just like horrible fan bases?
I can go over the DeviantArt stuff because that was glorious watching that series.
No, yes, Troy. I think Troy hasn't talked much. I think we should give him a chance.
I mean, I don't really know what to
first.
talk about. I mean, there's times where I've wanted to interject, but I felt like it wouldn't have helped the argument, so I kept my mouth shut
you
for the
just
time being.
Hey, just say stuff. I'd love hearing your input.
Well, I know, but I mean, I don't know what to like really say at the moment. I guess.
All right.
I have an example of just
Cleric, what were you
really
gonna
just. I think it portrays what DeviantArt kind of can be when you find the really shady places on there.
Yeah.
It was anthropomorphized airplane vor.
Excuse me?
Anthropomorphized airplanes, so it's basically airplanes that look like people. Vor.
That stuff is so weird, dude.
Yeah, that was. I lost it when I saw that picture. Like, there's some weird fetishes out there. Let's just say that.
Oh, dude, you got no idea.
You could hear the moment Troy realized what you were talking about.
Yeah.
So but another half reason why I haven't been talking is I've been playing Hearthstone this whole time. So
oh, you've been playing throw your money at the wall and hope you win simulator.
No, the only thing I've ever actually bought was the introductory pack that cost $5. Thank you very much. Other than that, I am free to play.
About playing games that just involves us throwing money at a wall. I play Warhammer. That's an expensive hobby.
Oh no.
But I mean, DeviantArt is a weird place. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's on DeviantArt that can be or is pulled from R34. So I mean, I think DeviantArt is kind of like the gateway to R34 once people get a little bit older and figure out more about the internet.
Yeah. Speaking of the horrible fan bases thing, we all have experiences with our Rick and Morty fan base. Something I really want to talk about is did you guys see the video of
Jumps on the
guy of
what jumps on the counter, right?
Yeah, the guy jumps on the counter and starts screaming, "I'm Pickle Rick" when they don't have the Szechuan sauce for
Yeah.
I lost it. We jumped on the ground. He's like, "Ree, Ree, I'm Pickle Ree." Knocked on the door.
That was
Oh, that brings a tear to my eye every time. It gives me.
it just that's so cringy. The fact that so many people got mad and like protested inside McDonald's over some dumb sauce you can go buy from Target. It just I don't know how to feel.
I'm sorry.
On the one hand,
It's the best thing I've ever seen.
yeah. Like on the one hand, I love the show, and I think I actually controversial opinion. I actually kind of like season 3, but I just
Ew.
the fans of it are just bad.
Yeah.
And I thought Steven Universe's fan base was bad. But this is like
I just posted a picture to the podcast images. I think that accurately describes my reaction to this whole thing.
oh, I have no sides and I must
Yeah, you
kick.
guys should show that on screen for everyone else.
I will. Oh no, I love it. I'm going to actually save that right now just so I don't forget.
Which chat
Yeah,
did you put
no,
it in?
just-
Podcast images.
podcast images. The locked one for
I
us.
have no sides and I must kick.
Oh boy.
Interesting.
Do you not like this this meme masterpiece?
It's me, master.
I don't know how I find them, but I always manage
Yeah.
to find pretty good reaction memes.
Yeah.
The level of the
I don't
you
know.
know those 4chan threads that just sometimes see other people people post on other websites. Those guys are masters at reaction memes.
Yeah. Oh, you actually just reminded me of something. Horrible fan bases and reaction memes. I think the actual like worst fan base I've come across is
Undertale?
Now I might be what? Did you say Naruto?
What?
I said Undertale?
Oh, okay, never mind. Yeah, never mind. That's actually the worst. No, I'm thinking of sorry. Okay, let me rephrase this. My personal least favorite is the Witcher 3 fan base.
Really? Oh, why so?
Yes. Well, no offense to Dan, he's a great guy, but I hate how I hate how they herald it as the literal best thing in existence, and how anything else compared to it is bad. Like
I feel that.
anytime I don't go there anymore because it's just kind of the same reposted images and the same like circle jerk mentality. But
I mean,
r slash
I usually
gaming.
agree that like I hate the circle jerk of really popular games. I don't know. It's just, I think that even if it's not your kind of game, I think that Witcher 3 is arguably like I would say it is probably one of the better games out there, one of the top games. You know, even if you don't like it. I mean, like I know there's games that I personally hate that are like probably really good games. Still, I'm just saying that Witcher 3 is probably one of those games. Even if you dislike it, you have to admit that the quality of the game itself has to put it as one of probably the best out there.
Yeah, The Witcher 3 is a game that I personally don't like, but I understand why people like it. Kind of like what you said, but like what I was talking about is like back when I used to go to r slash gaming before I realized how bad it was. There was there's like whenever like for example when Breath of the Wild came out and there was like a lot of like good positive things about it. Every single thread there'd be someone in there talking about how The Witcher 3 is just so much better. Like literally, like every thread.
Yeah, well,
and it's the same thing for every Fallout game or every like Skyrim thread or
there's a reason why
Assassin's Creed Origins even.
A lot of threads on Reddit get pretty stupid at some points. There's a reason why a lot of websites I go on just makes fun of Reddit for being stupid a lot of times.
Well, I live on Reddit. Don't make fun of my home.
Okay, Troy, you have to make Reddit gets pretty circle jerky sometimes.
No, there's a subreddit called r/circle jerk. I mean, what do you expect?
I actually visit r/gaming circle jerk regularly just because it makes fun of all the stuff. It makes fun of all the stuff that gaming
circle
that gaming likes to like push. Like I hate the one thing I hate is like the circle jerk on there about how every single like Fallout made by Bethesda is bad, and how it's not a true RPG, when really like I don't know. It just kind of pisses me off. It's like I don't. It's like why spend so much of your time dedicated to hating a game that instead of just playing a game you actually like.
All right, so speaking of circle jerks, there's one thing I want to bring up, and this is gonna be the last thing I'm gonna bring up that I dislike or anything because I don't want to spoil anything or anything else for like the episode where we're gonna do where we just talk about everything we hate and stuff.
Oh yeah, that. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I probably shouldn't be talking about all this.
I'm just gonna talk about one more thing, and this is gonna listen. This is gonna out of everything I've said, this is what's gonna trigger people the most, and what's gonna make everyone hate me. I fucking hate for the hate of everything prequel related in Star Wars. The prequels are good movies. Shut your face. They are good movies. Stop being hyperbolic about how terrible they are. My God, it pisses me off because I love Star Wars. I love like all the Star Wars movies. I see there's problems in them. They're not perfect movies. None of them are. They all have their own problems, but they're not bad. A lot of the complaints that people have about the prequels can be they can be hypocritical and stuff because like example, and I won't go too in depth in this because we gotta save this for another episode, but like people say like battle droids are useless and stupid and can't hit anything. That's literally what goddamn stormtroopers are. You know what I mean?
Hey, you know what I have to say to that? You know what I have to say to that?
What do you have to say, Jay? Let him have it.
I just moved him to the other chat.
I was gonna tell him. Well, actually, there was one scene. I can't remember which episode it was.
Let's come back. I'm sorry. I had to make that joke. I'm sorry, Cleric. I had to make that joke.
Out. There actually was a stormtrooper that I think hit Princess Leia's arm at some point. So, have at that.
Yeah, but there was also that scene in episode 2 where like 50 Jedi got slaughtered by battle droids. So.
Yeah, but wasn't that? No, I'm not gonna say anything.
You know what other scene was in episode 2?
Episode 2 is definitely the worst out of all of them. But it's still there's stuff to enjoy in it too, even if there is some pretty bad acting in it.
Okay, I strongly think that if the movies had been about Obi-Wan and not Anakin, they would have been much better because Obi-Wan was
Ewan
the best
McGregor
part
was
of the
amazing.
prequels.
Yes. I agree.
Yeah.
Listen, the two people that really dominated those movies was Ewan McGregor and Ian McDermott. My God, those guys are great actors.
Who? I'm sorry, who?
Ian McDermott, just the guy who played Palpatine in both the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy.
Oh yeah.
Hilarious. That I love the story because they hired him to play Palpatine in episode 6. And he was too young then to look like Palpatine, so they had to use a lot of prosthetics to make him look, like Palpatine. It was Palpatine again in the prequels, but he was older this time, and they had to make him into a younger Palpatine.
I didn't know that.
Funny. Yeah.
He's great. He's great in all the movies he's in.
Yeah. Same with Ian McGregor, even though I haven't seen anything from him in a while.
I just hope that if they do like an Obi-Wan anthology movie, that they get him back because he was great.
That would be pretty cool. Well, now that you've thoroughly pissed off the internet,
I'm ready for the hate. I've already dealt with this before.
All right, I think this is a good place to end the podcast.
It was fun, boys.
It was.
Well,
so
it was nice knowing you.
Right,
I'm about to go get crucified now.
I think. All right. So link to the Discord in the description if you want to come in here and tell Cleric why he's or me, or if you want to rant to me about why The Witcher 3 is the best game ever, even though I don't like it. Yeah. Troy, anything you'd like to say before we go?
Don't watch the news, kids. That's all political bullshit. There you go.
Cleric, anything you'd like to say?
I think I'm very sad enough to piss people off.
All right, then I'll say it for you. Geralt from The Witcher 3 is just a neckbeard insert. Have fun, y'all.